Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Survivor Australia Blood versus Water reunion show. We're gonna get started here in a little bit as I continue to wake up. Whoa, there we go. Could hear myself on the YouTube live stream. Welcome to the Survivor AU Blood versus Water reunion show. This huge event that everybody loves. It's a big part of Survivor. Everyone loves a reunion show. And unfortunately, Australia doesn't do one. So we figured here at the Survivor Now podcast that we would start giving people a reunion show. And we wanted to start with this season because we already had the chance to interview some of the castaways. We already had the chance to meet a lot of the castaways. So reached out to them and said, hey, do you guys want to do a reunion show? And of course, a lot of them are like, yeah, that would be amazing. So we're going to get them in here in about 15 minutes, but I want to go ahead and welcome you guys. Thank you. If you see me messing with the computer and all, I'm switching kind of back from the Zoom call so I can actually talk to them. And then the YouTube live feed so I can talk to you guys. And definitely we implore you to use that chat on the live stream. We want you guys to be able to answer questions, interact with the cast, and they want to interact with you. You know, I've spoken to, I want to say like 7 or 8 of them, and they are all amazing people, and they love meeting the fans. They love talking to you guys. They love interacting with you guys. So definitely use that chat, get in the chat room, and, you know, send some messages in and interact with them. What's up, Chris? What's up, Jenny? Welcome. Just to prove that I can see the chat myself. But yeah, if you see me messing anytime during the stream, that's what I'm doing. Please be patient with me. This is my kind of still first year hosting. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the Survivor Now podcast on July 17th. I believe it was July 17th. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary, which is crazy. So this is my first year podcasting, streaming. I've been honored and lucky to do some incredible interviews and have some incredible experiences so far. But this is my first time doing like a reunion show, big meeting type thing. So I'm going to do my best to manage possibly 12 people all at once, possibly 13. I do expect there to be some talking over and stuff, but it's supposed to be, and I told this to the cast, this is supposed to be a fun experience, a fun evening for them. It's not supposed to feel like a formal interview. It's not supposed to feel like a formal meeting. It's supposed to be like a group hangout. And I forgot my wine before I got on. I was going to bring like a glass of wine because I want it to be like a formal hangout where we just talk as friends. Because that's what reflect on the season that went down. The very entertaining season. A lot of people had some bad stuff to say about it. I thought it was fantastic. I'm not lying. It was one of my favorite Survivor seasons of all time. So yeah, I'm excited to just reflect back on the entire journey. Now looking back on it, it's been, you know, a few months now. And I'm excited to hear what everyone has to say now that it's definitely simmered a little bit. Now that, you know, I had a chance to speak with them as soon as the game ended or a couple weeks after the game ended. But now that it's simmered, everyone's watched it through, everyone's had time to think about it. And there's people on this show today that I haven't spoken to. For instance, KJ. I have not spoken to KJ, so I'm excited for that. I haven't spoken to Melissa. So that's going to be fun as well. And the thing is, the interesting thing is my memory is terrible. So I did like a quick refresher on the season yesterday, and I'm sure I'll still forget something. So that's why I need you guys. I need you guys to be there to ask some questions that need to be asked. So let's see what's going on here. Everybody is tuning in. Hello, everyone. Sorry, reading the chat. This is going to be easier when someone's talking and I can just tune in and and read the chat. Yeah, I could see the editing. The editing was a problem at times, but I would argue that the editing is a problem in most Survivor seasons. So I challenge you to find one Survivor season where the editing didn't have at least one issue. So it's unfortunate that the editing has so many issues over the years. So how we're going to be bringing people in and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing an open discussion. So we'll answer your guys' questions throughout the entire event. And then I've got a couple games planned out as well. We're going to do some Survivor AU blood versus water trivia. I have 2 trivia games. I have a just to refresh my memory, got to get my notes up. So I have unwarranted superlatives, which basically, we always love to hand out awards at the end of the season, but there's some awards that we didn't hand out. So we're going to let the Survivor AU cast actually decide who wins that award. So, for example, the first one is the funniest castaway. We're going to ask them who the funniest one is. And then we're also going to do, like I said, just normal trivia. With the first question being, who said it? Are you going to give them the idol or do I burn you now? And we're going to see how well they know the season. We're going to see who can answer first. But other than that, we're going to be answering your guys' questions throughout the entire thing. And like I said, just talking, it's going to be like me catching up with a bunch of people that I haven't seen in forever. That's exactly what it's going to be like a bunch of friends. So it looks like we have our first guest. And this is how it's going to work. We're going to welcome them in one by one. Here we go. Might be some technical issues as well. Like I said, doing this on the fly, doing it live. By the way, what time is it for everyone at the moment? Because for me, it is 5:50 in the morning. But for Abraham, who's about to join, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. My man, Abraham.
What's going on?
How are you doing it? I felt so bad. I was like, it's like 4 in the morning for you. About to be 5 a.m.
About the survivor life, guy. That's all we're about.
Abraham, we do have a live stream going on right now as well. Let's see. I asked everyone what time it is for them. So we have Jenny. She's in Australia, so 7:52. 5:52 for Chris. Hey, Chris said Abraham.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Yes, it's 4:53 Texas time.
I did this to him. Let's see. We're waiting on Jordan here, possibly to be the first entrance here. Let's see. So yeah, I have everything. I told you guys there might be some technical difficulties. I have everything pulled up. So I have my email in case the Zoom link isn't working for anyone. I have Instagram that I message everyone through. And so, yeah, we're just going to have a fun time, Abraham. This is going to be incredible.
Feel like kicking off your Sunday morning at the AM.
Yeah. How awake are you today? Like, are you more of a morning person or a night person?
Morning person, but this is like morning and night. It's like a combination.
Man. So yeah, how we're going to do everything, Abraham, because I know you weren't there at the beginning. We're just going to answer fan questions throughout. And when you got that email I sent to everybody, it's just going to kind of be like a fun hangout. If you have something in particular, if there's someone you want to ask something, do it by all means. That's why I want this to feel laid back. I want it to feel like a bunch of friends just getting together in a meeting, like not a meeting. I shouldn't have used that word. Not a meeting and not an interview.
Like a reunion?
Yeah. A live reunion. Exactly. Chris wants to know, Abraham, are you going to have an alcoholic beverage? I was going to have a glass of wine, and I forgot the glass of wine.
This is almost like coming back from the club. So I probably already had an alcoholic beverage already.
I have water, which you can't see-through water that fits into my Australian background. Yeah, it's back, Abraham, for possibly the final time until the next Survivor Australia season. My Australian Outback image is back.
Oh yeah, that is the Outback image. That's one we used last time.
Don't be fooled. It's just my bedroom. I might just leave the bedroom up. But I need to get like a cool background like you, man. I need a Survivor background.
You just gotta have friends. You gotta have good friends. That's how I got it.
That's what I have you for, right?
They was like, hey, here's a great gift. You've been on Survivor. I was like, I'm gonna put this up, and I just never took it down.
Well, you said you were going to take it down, but you didn't because
I met Randy.
Exactly. So he's like, it's just perfect and everything. Let me get out of the way. I also need to just get the main stuff out of the way before everyone joins. Go ahead and hit us up on Instagram at Survivor Now Podcast or at Reality Randy. That's where you're going to find all the latest news. We try to keep you up to date on the latest Survivor news. Here's news that I didn't post about that NBC show that was getting formed. It was going to be like a Survivor type NBC show that has been canceled. So that's not coming anymore. It was going to be called $1 Million Island. So nick that in the bud. So yes, follow us on social. If you're watching on YouTube, which you have to be at the moment, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And like I said, I will be jumping back and forth. If anyone new jumped in, yes. The castaways are coming. It's not just me and Abraham. Oh, we tricked you. It's just going to be me and Abraham the entire time.
Not at 457.
Abraham's like, I'm not here for you, Randy. I'm here for the castaways and the castaways only. So the guest list. I'm going to forget someone. Let me see here. All right, so the guest list, they're going to be kind of coming in and out. We have daughter of Sandra, the U.S. protege, Nina Twine. We have David Goodchild, Juicy Dave. We have Jordan Schmidt, who's trying to join now. We have Kate Tatham. She is the sister of Andy. We have Melissa Chang. We have Mama Chrissy Zarimba. Can't remember if I said her or not, but we have KJ. Very excited to talk to KJ for the first time. And then we do have winner Mark Wales. We also have a few other people that might be joining on as well, depending on stuff. Oh, and I almost forgot. We have Josh. Now. His flight got canceled, so he's going to be joining us as well this evening. So who are you looking forward to, Abraham?
Well, hey, look, I'm looking forward to a reunion since we didn't have a reunion on our side either. So it's be great.
I figured if this goes well, I should just do a yearly reunion.
Look,
for Australia.
Again, the participants of the Survivor, no matter which one you do, we love to get back together. Just to chit chat, talk about the game, talk about some of the stuff that you do not see on TV that didn't make it. It's probably on the editing floor. Same editing floor my stuff is on.
That's what I'm excited to hear about. Oh, we got another guest. Again, could be technical difficulties. We're going to see if we can get everybody in here. And it's going to be crazy. I've never had a meeting of more than 4 people. Hello, what's up, Kate? And Jordan, same time. Hey, Jordan, we're matching glasses today, man.
What's up, bro? What's up, brother? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Good morning to you guys, or I guess good evening.
Oh, it's morning where you are, isn't it?
Yeah. So
Yes.
for Abraham, it is about to be 5 a.m.
Oh,
and
wow.
then
That's
it's 6
dedication,
a.m.
Abraham.
Look, I don't get up at
That's
5 a.m. on
dedication.
work day.
Yeah, no, that's dedication, bro. Respect. That's good. Yeah, same here, man. I'm just up at 5 a.m. as well. So yeah, I can respect that. That's hard.
Oh man, I don't know how you guys do it. How are you, Kate? How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm amazing. It's so good to finally like reach out and be able to speak with you because I know we were trying to get together a while ago and then it just never worked out with my schedule and interviews I already had. So it's finally good to have you in here. You're probably much more awake than I am.
Well, no, 8 o'clock's usually way past my bedtime.
Oh.
I'm like a really old lady. I'm a busy mum of 3. So by 8, I'm like, right, everyone
Yep,
in bed.
ready
I'm
to go.
going to bed. See you.
You're not an old lady, Kate. You're not an old lady.
Oh. Hi, Kate. Hi,
Kate,
Jordan.
how are you?
Hello.
What's
Whoa,
up, Mel?
Jordan.
What's up, man?
Mel, I fully expected that shirt you're wearing is amazing, but I fully expected you to wear the Croc shirt. I was ready for it.
I have it, but like it. No, I thought, yeah, maybe this one tonight.
I love it. And
I could.
we haven't had the chance to speak either. So it's nice to
No.
finally meet you. It's the same thing. It was a work in progress, but just
Yeah.
over time.
Oh yeah, life gets busy.
Exactly. I was way more busy than I thought I would be when I started this. And this is perfect. We have the twins side by side.
It's Mish here. Mish, how's New York?
I'm in
she's
New
at the-
York.
Oh, this
Oh,
time zone.
Mish,
That's
what's
great.
going on?
Hello.
Hey.
That's the airport.
Yeah,
Yes, it's in here.
she
Nice
told
hat,
me
Mish.
Thank you from Mexico. What do you think?
she told me she's like, I'll try to join, but I'm getting off an airplane. And I'm like, props to you, because if
Red eye.
I'd be getting off the airplane, I'd be like, no way, not joining.
I'm only joining until my bag arrives because I gotta head to Grand Central really as fast as I can. So
Oh.
I'll be very yeah.
Well, we're
Yeah,
happy to have you.
Thank you.
I was hoping that as soon as I saw you join, I'm like twins side by side, and then you were wearing your glasses. I'm like, cool. She's helping me out here. I can tell which is which, because that was the tough part. You guys are like,
Is
when
it? Wait, is it? No, wait.
like, oh
I
no.
don't think we look alike.
No.
No, well, now that I've watched the show, but like as soon as the show started, I was like, oh, twins, this is gonna be tough. I was actually saying, I said first person I would vote out is one of the twins, because I just could not handle that. I feel like it'd be like, just meeting you for the first time. One of you could say one thing, and then if we switch tribes, it would be like a whole nother situation.
They have
Oh.
very
That's true.
different accents though. So
Yeah,
on
we
the
sound a
map,
bit
on the-
different.
even on the mat on the first day, the distinguish between the voices straight away was like, oh my goodness, they look so alike, but they speak so differently. So I don't think there could have been that confusion.
Well, when they pointed out the teeth are different. Like that was like that was very interesting.
Hi,
Bruce and Chrissy, bro.
Chrissy.
Hello.
Hey, Tracy.
Oh, Dave.
Hey,
Bruce.
how are we? Yo!
We're getting the whole gang back together. How are you guys?
Oh,
I even got the hat back.
Oh, it's got, well, are we wearing costumes, are we?
Wait, do I need to change into a crocodile too?
I said
I burned all mine. I burned all of it.
you guys missed it, Chrissy and Dave. You guys missed it when Melissa got on. I said I love the shirt, but I fully expect her to be in like the Croc shirt. It was like so iconic. So see, like Juicy's backing me up here. The fact that he's actually got the same hat or his same
Oh my
style.
god, that hat.
Chrissy,
Juicy,
I
You're too much.
What are you wearing?
Looks like you're half.
Have a look,
what's
Davey.
going on?
Pajamas.
I settle down, Davo.
She's
Looks
got
like
the
back
silky
again.
nightshirt going.
Dave's eyes nearly fell out of his head.
It's gonna make sense to people watching the like
It's not
reunion
gonna make
show,
sense.
but for people listening to the reunion show later, you're just gonna hear, "What are you wearing, Chrissy?" No background, no like view or anything. So,
She's gone off video now. She's all getting.
but Chrissy, I'm so happy you were able to make it home. We didn't know if you'd be able to join. What time did the plane happen?
No, so it got cancelled. So I'm staying
Oh.
another night here and I go tomorrow. So I thought I would have to be at the airport, which I would have had no volume, no sound.
Oh no. Well, I said that was crazy because like you're not the only person this week that reached out about
I know.
like plane issues. So that was like crazy to hear. Hello,
So
Shay.
many.
Hello. She's like, let me eat my dinner.
Is she eating?
Hey, Shay.
Oh, Shay, what's going on, mate?
Where are you?
I'm at
Where's
home.
Shay?
Hello.
I can't see her. Oh, there she is.
Hey, what's going on?
Surprise,
Shay?
surprise, you're reading.
Hi.
I know,
Oh,
shut
God,
up.
oh, the whole family's there.
Whole family's Oh,
Randy, is
been
this okay if this goes
Oh
live?
yeah, no, that is
Yeah.
okay. I am like angry with
Oh.
myself because I told myself, and it's 6:05 a.m. here. And I told
Oh,
myself,
Wow.
don't forget the wine. I was going to grab the wine and I got everything ready. So I had to wake up, I had to get the computer ready, I had to get the light ready and get all of this prepared. And I sat down, and the way my seat is, I have to like scoot in. So I'm like under the desk. Like I can't move at the moment. Like I am in this thing. So basically what happened is like I started the live stream and everything, and I was like, let's go. And I have water. And I was sitting down and I was drinking the water, and I was like, I forgot the wine. How dare I?
Oh.
what I
6 a.m. wine.
Hey, water,
What is it?
water.
Chrissy?
But I'm
Water.
jealous of the
No.
wine. Let's see.
I've just had my Milo.
Yum.
Really?
Yum.
My warm Milo.
I'm
Ready
having
for
my
bed.
Milo too.
Yeah, I've had
Did
my
you say Milo or Merlot?
Merlot.
Hello.
I've got some fireball.
Up and run.
Should we get that crack in the fireball? I've got some fireball.
That's it, Bob.
I am not.
Jordan.
I am not drinking
Hell no.
at 6 a.m. in the morning. No, thank you.
I got whiskey, vodka,
gosh,
bit of
Michelle.
fireball, some Hendrix.
My family.
Hang on.
Is Michelle
Can
on?
we just get like a shot back
Yes.
to Jordan? Is he getting ready for November early?
Me?
Yes.
Nah, this is
Yes.
standard procedure.
Him and Josh.
Starting early.
Him and Josh are trying to see who can grow out the biggest stash. Like,
I'm
gonna
one of
say-
you guys need like the handlebar mustache.
Go,
Oh, the
Chrissy.
handlebar mustache is ruthless. Like that'll take me like 50 years to grow that one.
Mark, you were
I
almost.
am
First off, hello, Sam. I didn't know you were going to be joining
what?
today. Hello.
I-
Oh,
I-
hey, stab me mark.
I'm not
Obviously
traveling.
not
That's
at all.
perfect.
There's Josh. There's
No,
Josh.
not at all.
When are you-
what's up,
Sam,
man?
Sam, when are you not traveling?
I
When are
know.
you not
And-
traveling, Sam?
Right,
Hey,
right now. Right now.
these
Mark and
brothers.
Sam, are you guys in like a full studio? What is this?
Studio.
He's got the full. Show us
They've
your
gone
sound
full
setup,
like
mate.
professional.
Oh, there it is.
Like,
I know.
That is shit.
Professional without a bra. Yes, Sammy.
I had people ask
shave that
about
dang
Sam.
mustache, bro.
I had people ask about Sam and whether she was joining Mark. And I was like, I don't know. Sam is always like in the mountains, or like, I'm like, I have no idea if she's even home at the moment. I fully expected like Harry to be in the arms of Mark, and he's like, hey, Sam went on a trip. Like I'm doing everything right now.
No, we
Got
do
another
have
baby.
something else in our arms.
Hey.
Oh, what?
Really? Say hello, Winnie.
Oh,
Winnie.
Too cute. I'm a bit tired.
oh my gosh. Adorable.
I'm here. I flew in from Sydney this morning, so when Mark said he was coming on, I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
Oh, perfect timing. That's why I just got to say before we get into more of this, thank you guys all for tuning in. I just wanted to host this and like get the gang back together because every Survivor season gets, criticism. Everyone's a critic and stuff, but I genuinely mean, and you can ask Abraham here. I've spoken about your guys' season so many times.
Who's Abraham?
I loved your season.
Where's Abraham?
Abraham's yeah, right beside me.
Where?
Abraham, introduce yourself, man.
Well, hey everyone, I'm from US Survivor Season 41. So
You can't claim that Chrissy doesn't know. She knows shit all.
I think this is the first time where we've had somebody from US Survivor also with the cast from Australia Survivor. So it's interesting to see all your side of your show.
Shut up,
Chrissy
Demi.
would only learn from Jordan and just hold his tongue and put the pieces together as people start to talk. Chrissy would know who people are.
No, he looks like a lovely man. I thought he was a poster. He didn't
No, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on my end. I'm like, man.
Was he really not moving that much to think he's supposed to? You'll love this, Abraham.
Michelle's on.
Let's see. Hey, Michelle. She's
At
back.
the airport, fresh from Mexico.
Will
I'm
can't
in New
join.
York.
I forgot.
New
to send
York,
it.
right?
I'm in New York right now, but I'm trying to find the bus to get to Grand Central. Everything's kind of changed here since I've been.
Oh, cute.
Wait, but
Well,
I have
okay.
to go for a little while.
I'm gonna
but
grab
I'll
the
be
phone.
back.
I'm gonna grab the phone.
Oh, awesome.
I'll be
You
back.
go-
I'll find the bus and then I'll join when I get on the
This
bus.
is a lot. Do we
That's
just all
so
talk?
happy. For us.
This one.
What is happening?
It's a dog off.
Oh my God. Don't make me go get my dog. My dog's not like a lap dog. So
Get your
I'm
dog, Randy. Get your dog.
See, the
This is
problem
not-
is
Oh,
if I get my dog at this hour, he's definitely going to be whining to go outside for the next hour and a half. So I'll leave that to the rest of the family. Oh my gosh. Okay. Might be our last member joining here. I forgot, Abraham, to send the invite to Will.
There's Will there. He's about to pop up.
I had to send it to him a second ago while everyone was speaking. This is I also was asked this week how I'm going to manage everyone. Hello, Will. So if you guys don't know Will is, like myself, a Survivor super fan, and he kind of started this whole podcasting thing with me a year ago. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the show.
7? How old is he?
Yeah.
Will,
Where
how
is Will? I can't
Will,
see
how old are you, man?
17.
17.
Yeah.
17.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So
Oh, well.
we met doing an online Survivor game, one of those, like one of the orgs, if you've heard of them. And so yeah, I needed a co-host, and I'm like, who wants to go do a Survivor podcast? And Will's like, all right, Randy, I guess I'll join you. So now he's just like, he's been stuck with me. And I said, hey, I was talking to Abe as well. I'm like, if anyone wants to wake up at 6 a.m. and speak with Survivor Australia members, I'm sending the invite out. And Will was like, all right, I can get up, but maybe not right at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as Survivor when I was 17. Oh my God.
Hey, but it has taken the world by storm since. Let me just say that.
Oh, it
I
has.
already
I lived
applied.
in America during the year 2000 when it really, it was amazing.
So this is how it's kind of going to work. Now that we have everyone here, it's going to be a bit chaotic, but that's okay. I just want to have fun. I just want to talk and hang and reflect on the amazing season that however you look at it, the disappointing or amazing season that
Yeah, what a
Survivor-
shit ending. What a shit ending.
Yeah, I wasn't cheering for that, Mark.
Now we can get it out in the open. We should have sent you to perjury.
Mark's like, all right, great to see you guys. I'm out.
Yeah,
He loves it.
But I also have some a little bit later here after we're looking back at some moments and just kind of talking here. I have some fun Survivor AU Blood versus Water trivia for you guys to see. Yeah, I've got some famous quotes to see if you can remember who said what and everything. And I know for some of you it might be a little late at night. You're like, I'm not ready for this.
I'm just having vodka. I'm just having vodka and some lime.
I see at least 3 people in bed at the moment.
I thought I was just sort of disguising that I was in bed, but anyway.
Yeah,
I wanted
you're not.
to do it from bed, but Mark said that's not professional.
no. You gotta touch
I'm in a
it.
hotel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could definitely tell Chrissy was in bed, and then I saw Shay lay down, and I'm like, Shay's just here for the the entertainment.
What's up,
Where are you,
Shay?
Shay? Where are you at now? You in Bali?
Hey, no, I just got back from Bali, hence why I'm
Go
depressed.
back from Bali.
Yeah.
She's got depression.
You were hitting the red wine as well.
Huh?
What'd you say, Juice?
Nope. Full
It's just-
international. Oh, I was
It's
just
just-
saying where everyone was coming from. So I just wanted a wine. That's right.
Well, before we get into deep discussion about the season and looking back, Will and Abraham, this is your first time meeting everyone. If there's a question you have in particular, take it away.
First of all, good evening to everybody. It's 5 a.m. on my end. I got a chance to play Survivor last season in Fiji, so way different than being on your side. I've been out to Australia, beautiful place, great place to visit. My first question would probably be is, now that anytime that y'all get together, do y'all talk about the game?
Sam does.
Does not.
I was actually talking, so I didn't even hear what you said, Juice.
It's funny. Anytime
I
anybody
just relate what Mark was saying.
anytime our cast gets together, we'd be like, well, we should have did that different. Well, we should have voted different. I'm like,
Depends who you're with, man.
I'll just say, Sam, I couldn't stop talking you up when I was interviewing with Mark. I was like, you were the way you guys played the game. I was like, you can't have, there should be 2 winners. Like when I go to Survivor Wiki or look it up online. Oh, Mark, it's not, you guys haven't gone to bed yet. It's not, she could send you right back to the doghouse, my guy. Yeah.
Don't worry, I get the Chizzy Award. He can have the money. Survivor fan, so I'll just, I'll stick with the Survivor.
I thought that was called the Chrissy Award. That was embarrassing.
But I couldn't
I asked
stop, like
someone.
during the interview, I was like, Sam is literally just as much of this win as you are, because the way you guys played in tandem, no offense to anyone else, but it was incredible to watch you guys play together. So, Sam, I do have to ask you, with your exit in the game, is there any regrets that you had looking back at it now?
It's hard to have regrets when it worked out. And we were like that was the plan, to have one person with 2 versus potentially 2 people in the game with 1 idol. So, there's always little moments where you feel like you could have maybe reassured people more, but with one just small different thing, it could have changed the entire course of how the game played out. So I remember our very first Master IV, we said we're playing as a team and 1 person winning is the same as 2 people winning. So no regrets. Got to put yourself in the line and sacrifice yourself for your good man, and all is good.
I see a lot of gritting the teeth. And you're like,
Woman, Mark.
yes.
No, I always thought Mark would be a good winner too, and Mark wanted to go back after the first season and I didn't. And so it kind of feels nice and poetic that, you know, he was really hungry to do it the first time after it didn't work out the first time around. So
Mark was the first person. I didn't know if you knew this, Mark, but you were the first person I interviewed that when I asked we love to ask at the end of our, you know, podcasts and interviews, whether you want to go back and play again. You were the very first no that I got. Like, it wasn't a stern no, but it was like, yeah, probably not. But he did say in the interview, I don't know if you listened to it, but Sammy's like, he wants to see you play again. So he's already signed you back up for it.
Get back to work.
the other day, Harry told me that Dad works more than me, and I'm like,
Yeah, correct.
I'm just having to, like, you know, program. He said, yeah, even Jordan's laughing, going, that's clearly not true.
Mark, time to lift, mate. Time to lift.
I once told Mark during the game that he needed to lift his efforts a bit higher, and Juicy just it took him
I
back
was
to his
shaking my head.
home.
I'm like, what more can this guy do?
I'm surprised there's not some little bad blood between Kate and Juicy, because I was rewatching that episode and I said, hold on a second. Kate only went home because Juicy had that idol that he got from the Survivor store, which Kate was one of the people who sent him to the Survivor store.
No, I wasn't at all.
Kate knew
we
I
were
had it.
sending
Kate
Sandra.
knew.
I knew he had the idol. I was sitting there with broken ribs, just wanting to go home, but there was no way I was not going to see what Tribal Council looked like. So knowing he had the idol, knowing that it was possibly going to be me, I was kind of just sitting there, and Sam was going, vote Sandra, write down Sandra. And I'm like, no, I'm going home. Shut the fuck up. Like, just leave it be.
So you were on Sandra's side. You wanted Sandra to go to the store.
No. I wanted Sandra to go to the store because she would have the knowledge of what to get, and B, knowing that she
Like
would
the
get
idol.
to take Nina. Well, yeah, obviously. But also knowing that she would have a family member to take, because it was, you know, blood versus water. So it was pretty obvious that was going to be the next step. So I thought it was a little bit redundant sending Dave because, you know, Brianna had gone home. So I thought it would have been nice if Sandra got to see Nina, just being a mum myself, just letting you know, a mother-daughter moment. Yeah.
It was a pretty good decision by them, I think, because if Sandra had got that idol that early, that would have been power she had. A brilliant move by the team to put a guy in there and use the excuse of Brianna going home as the reason to go, which Sandra was basically walking out towards the thing because someone had thrown a name up and she was basically, yep, I'm in, because she knew exactly. I think Sam might have switched the whole shift over. I was so confused. I was so confused early on about on the blood tribe. I was like, is Sam with? Because I know it was a classic moment, Dave. I have to bring it up. The good and the bad. You didn't think I was just going to be positive this entire episode. Come on. Have you seen a Survivor reunion? Positive.
So
like to look at it.
Also, before I get into this point, hello, KJ. Hello.
Hi.
What?
Cage.
Hi.
Is the kid asleep?
I thought I'd just sneak in and no one would notice I was here.
When
How did you not notice KJ? You look like a stunner. It's like 8:30 p.m. Come on, start to look raggedy.
She's been doing a makeup.
I was getting ready. Sorry.
Have you got
Everyone looks so
on?
good. I can't give out that information. I've got a bra on. That's a win.
But I have to say, so going back to that point, it was hard to watch in the moment because
he was trying to distract you there, man.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna forget that one. But no, it was hard to watch on TV because we saw, obviously you didn't see, but we saw Sam campaigning for you the entire day, and then for you to say that, it was almost like Oh, the wrong person. It was the right move, just the wrong person. Literally anyone else could have done, and you picked the wrong person. But looking back on that blood tribe, I couldn't figure out at the time. I was like, is Sam working with Sandra or is she working with someone else? So Sam, how close were you guys in those early parts of the game?
Can I just say who wasn't Sam working with?
Oh, are we throwing more steam out?
That's my girl.
Well, I was definitely working with you, Dave. It was so early. Like, you should be working with everybody. Like, everyone's a possibility at that point. Like, it's just, but I definitely was working with Dave.
You asked Sandra, she asked me to ask Sandra to work with her, but like, Sandra and I were like, nah, we know she's doing that to everybody.
It did look like Sandra was kind of, Sam is right in a way to kind of play the field, but Jordan, you were right there with Sandra as well.
Sandra?
Yeah, weren't you working pretty close with her as well? You had Sophie, and then the Sophie boat went down.
That's it. Yeah, that was an on the old Sophie one. But Sandra, I was just gathering information off Sandra. She was just a wealth of knowledge, and she was actually teaching us a lot about the game. And and Sophie was she was a different beast.
This will be interesting. So Sandra went out day 16 for the third time. Yeah. Who, by show of hands, had a verbal alliance with Sandra throughout the game? No one had a verbal alliance with Sandra.
Hey, I tried hard, but no.
She was not going to work with you.
But we could have had something going there because no one would have suspected it. That's what I threw at her, but she threw me under the bus, so it was over.
That's because you voted for her, Juicy. Juicy.
That's right. The great con. Whatever you said to her, she was so convinced that even to the point up to the show, she was still convinced I voted her.
Okay.
I was whispering in her ear when I was saying goodbye. Sam voted for you, but she couldn't hear me, and it was getting really, really frustrating that I was to the point of about to yell it, but I couldn't get the words out because my ribs, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, and I was saying goodbye. Then I'm like, Sam voted for, and she's like, what? And I was like, oh no, the two old ladies trying to have this.
I'm not sure why you thought you knew. I literally only made my mind up just before I voted.
Because you asked me and Sophie to vote for her the second before the vote.
Oh.
You okay?
Here we go.
Does everybody have their wine intact and everything?
I'm empty. I'm going to grab the bottle. Hold on.
No, the blood tribe was very entertaining, but so was the water tribe on their end as well. Like, the beginning of the game was just so crazy. I'm like, every tribal council fell in love. That was my first season watching Survivor Australia as well. And I was like, the Aussies are going at it like early in the game. Like, wow. But I do have to say I was wrong on so many fronts. Let me see. Chrissy, I said after episode 1, I think I remember saying on a podcast, she's not making it past week 1. There's no way. Ooh, I was wrong there. I think Juicy, after that idol play, I said, well, he saved himself, but he's out the very next vote and he won't make it a week. Ooh, I was wrong there. I'm trying to think of anything else off the top of my head. I think I said the twins wouldn't because of how dangerous they were. So I owe Mel an apology as well. I was like, twins aren't making the merge. So I was just like way wrong about everything. And I know she can't join us this evening, but I also said Brianna was my winner pick out of everybody. So
you're good at this game, Randy.
I know.
You're good at this game.
She is the makings of a great player. Like, I rate Brianna.
I think she just played
good on you, Sammy.
A little too hard right off the bat. I thought Shay had her back with the idol play, I thought I was like, oh, Shay's gonna play the idol for her. She has her. It's all good. And then when she didn't, I was like, oh, it was kind of like watching a friendship just like break off. And I was like, oh, like Brianna looking over at Shay, and then Shay just like cold face, looking, nope, not happening.
Yeah,
that was tough to watch.
Randy, did I say though, like 2 tribals after the big juicy tribal fiasco, whatever, that if Juicy lasts a little bit, he'll make a deep run. Did I say that in a pod? And I was also correct that Sandra would get out in like a big moment in the game, aka a merge or a swap. So my reads were really good.
Who was Abe and Will? Who were your guys' winner picks again? Because I outed mine out. So okay,
Brock was my winner pick.
So some experts we were. I mean, we should have saw the writing on the wall. Mark the entire time.
Shouldn't have seen it.
KJ was my sleep.
Well, that's rude.
Jordy didn't win. Mark was like close 4th.
Outside of the game, I have to ask Jordan and Mark. I saw you guys went to, was it a rugby game? I saw it on Instagram and it looked really fun.
I watched Jordan get a lucky try and just get his team over the win. Pretty much open space, got an easy pass, just ran it through. He was limping a bit. His hamstring was still a bit funny.
I was wondering.
Good game.
We had a big game. We played against the number one team in the comp, and we managed to beat them at home. So it was a very big game. So,
that's good.
Well done.
I love to hear
so
that because the last time we spoke, I was asking that if you were going to play again, because they were asking you if you were going to play in the fall, and you're like, I don't know. So I'm happy to hear you're playing again.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was all fun yesterday, but now my back's like extremely I'm in a lot of pain now. So I don't know.
Come to clinic, Jordan.
Yeah, I think I might
visit
need
me at
to.
clinic.
My body's falling apart. I'm a bit too small now.
I don't know exactly. I'm looking at the chat right now. Chrissy, are you drinking vodka?
Maybe.
Someone said maybe.
Are you really? Like, are you really?
Oh, it's water.
Soda water.
Yo.
Josh.
There it is.
Oh my
There it
gosh.
is.
I got the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Hello.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
How does it feel to be a
cute.
full-time dad now, on top of
It's-
everything else?
It's hectic. I actually was meant to go on my first work trip and then flight got cancelled. So I just literally went to Sydney last night. They called me like, yeah, your flight's cancelled. So I flew back today. And so Sage is super happy, but yeah, it's pretty rough, man. He doesn't sleep.
I was gonna say you had to message Sage, and you're like, hey, my flight got canceled, and she's just like at home. She's like, yes.
It was pretty much. I was meant to be away till Tuesday, and then ended up coming home after just one night. Oh, there you go. There's a spin.
He's dribbling. Baby
It's like he's old, man. Yeah.
I do have to say, Chris,
Yeah.
I brought up the vodka because someone in the chat said, Chris in the chat said, wouldn't be vodka without Chrissy.
Sorry.
No, that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
This
All
takes
right.
the edge.
Shay, you're guzzling.
So I have a.
Shay, you're guzzling your wine. It's cranberry juice.
Vitamin C.
So I have a couple, like I said, I had a couple games planned out for us. If you guys are ready, we'll get to the first game. And it's basically unwarranted superlatives. So I told the audience this.
What?
So I told the audience this. We do awards at the end of the season all the time. But there's some awards that we didn't get to. So this is going to be a fun way to look back and kind of talk and just, talk about the cast and everything that you guys shared this incredible experience with. So the first one is going to kind of tell you right off the bat how we're going to do this. The funniest castaway. The funniest person you were out there with. I instantly thought Jordan because of the aim for the bushes.
Yeah, Jordan's straight up.
There's a strong tie with Juice and Jordan for me.
Juice. Yeah, Juice.
Like Juice with that kissing, like with that kiss on you that night.
Yeah, I reckon that definitely got Juice over the line. That was amazing.
That was out of control. That was out of control, though.
I was like Nina.
Nina, really?
Chrissy as well.
Yeah.
Chrissy's hilarious.
Chrissy was up
Yeah,
there.
because he's so funny.
Dave,
Just watching Chrissy.
I was gonna say, Shay, you brought up Nina. Nina might be joining us, but she said she was gonna set an alarm, and if she could wake up, she would be joining us. So,
Classic Nina.
we might be past that point at the moment. But no, there was a lot of comedic moments this season. I can't think of them right off the top of my head, but there was so many funny ones. And Jordan, he told me about that aim for the bushes. He told me that the Guys Alliance just kept saying movie quotes the entire time they were out there. So if I can remember correctly, Guys Alliance, we have a lot of the members here: Mark, Josh, Juicy, Jordan. Am I missing anyone? No.
Juicy was the leader.
Really, the leader.
Yeah, Geordie turned on us. Geordie was with us, and he turned on us, and so this was the last fought.
Do you guys have any? Because Jordan, we in our interview about the Guys Alliance, and he let me know about the movie quotes. So, do you guys have any memorable movie quotes that you can remember?
Oh, a lot. Well, people think that most of our strategy was literally just movie quotes. Like everyone thought we were up to something, but we were literally just a bunch of blokes just having a yarn.
I do have to say before we get to the next question, I want to talk
busy
to
sending the other team to trouble. It was hard work.
we're in the business of sending people home, man.
So Randy, when
we
made merge, what? You just muted me. I will not be silent. I will not be silent.
It was an accident.
I know you saw it, but Sam, but while you were speaking, I was like, okay, who's talking? I'm like literally looking all over the place.
So we made merge. We had the feast. Mark got a bit tippy off his 2 glasses of wine, and then started to rip Chrissy and I for basically doing no work. He's like, you girls have been doing nothing. Khan's still here. Literally been. What do you think you've been doing? You've been sleeping.
Fair point. It was a fair point.
Yeah,
well made.
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
Get it on plane.
And we were like, while you've been sitting in your Email Alliance, we've been going to tribal council every single day.
That was
I do want to know
back to back.
in the moment when the tribe swap happened and Mark had a chance, I got to speak to Mark about this. When Mark had a chance to choose what tribe he was on, brilliant decision by Mark. I hate to take his side here, but it was a brilliant decision. But in that moment, how mad were you, Sam? Is there like a look that you gave Mark that, you know, wasn't appropriate for TV, so we had to not see that moment or something? Like, how mad were you in that situation?
Like, in the moment, like the first thought was like, oh, he doesn't want to play with me. Like the guttural first reaction is like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh, but that was the plan. And so like you have your real life response and then you have your game response. But then I had Chrissy next to me who was basically hyperventilating. There's this photo of Chrissy looking like she's about to pass out. And I'm stroking her hand. And then I was like, oh shit, like I can't let Chrissy look more mad than me. So then I played it a little bit. But yes, my first reaction was like, I can't believe he's going to send me to tribal.
Oh my gosh. And that wasn't the only drama, because then we don't have her with us today, unfortunately, but then Sophie went to the water camp, and KJ, that created like a big issue for you. So I wanted to ask you about that. How did you know Ryan? I don't know what you're talking about. We haven't had the chance to speak about it. how difficult was it in that moment? Because we saw over time, you're like, okay, you saw where she was at in the game.
KJ.
You saw.
Just giving her.
It was really. I'll be honest. It was so shit. It was really shit. But
Well, I know personally, if I was playing with my sibling, and he came over to my camp, I'm getting him out immediately. There's just not even a question of it. So that's what I was curious about when she first joined was it like, I want to work with her, or did you kind of know off the bat it's just not going to happen? Or did that take some time?
I knew before going into the game we probably wouldn't work together at any stage. So it was me hoping that the other tribe would get her out. And I was actually at that tribal when they did vote her out. So it was a bit of a relief. And then she came in and I was like, oh, shit. And there was a moment there where I was like, oh, I really do want to work with her now. But it was pretty evident early on that wasn't going to happen at all. And I just had to focus on my own game. So behind the scenes, I sort of said to a few people just quietly, like, you know, if the cameras weren't anywhere nearby, I was like, can you just vote her out and leave me out of it? And that sort of seemed to be, the way it was going. So I just kept thinking, oh God, if I'm really instrumental in getting her voted out, I just don't know how that's going to sort of, didn't know the effect it would have on my family back home, and also her feelings. But then I sort of realized quite quickly that she was better off not being there for me and for her. She was better off being at home. I was better off being there on my own. So I think, my tribe did a pretty good job of voting her out.
I mean, it worked out for you in the end. Like, it was definitely one of those moments. It was kind of hard. It's hard watching because we know what you're going through and kind of like that challenge of voting out a relative. But at the same time, it was amazing gameplay on your part. So I have to give you props there because Sophie was a great player, but just differing games and stuff at the time. I am curious. I want to ask Josh and Jordan, would you guys, because you guys were working together a lot of the game too, would you guys have voted yourself or each other out? Kind of like KJ and Sophie did. If it came to it, would you guys have pulled the trigger and voted the other one out?
Not until, like we said earlier, like not until top 5. And if we had like a clear path for one of us to take it, that would be the only way that we put each other's names down.
What about
if it was to get one of us? If it was to get, it's pretty much like Sammy and Mark. If it was to get one of us to get the win, then we'd do it. But no way, early stages, we wouldn't even think about it.
Well, the way
the boys had a completely different relationship. So, like Josh and Jordan were so close. They were playing, not only for themselves but for each other. They were really tight.
You saw my reaction
completely different.
I was gonna ask Mark and Sam the same question then. But the way Mark spoke tonight and muted Sam, I think Sam would vote him out first thing now if they got a chance again.
Oh yeah. Oh, can I just say?
Oh, did you say who just spoke?
Me.
Oh well.
I was gonna say shout out to y'all because watching the American Blood versus Water, whenever anyone even hints to voting out their loved one, it's a huge TV moment, and y'all Australians are doing it like it's nothing. We had Nina voting out Sandra and KG voting out Sophie, and I'm like, wow, okay,
Nina
it's just normal for them.
Mom, that was big.
Exactly. If that happened in the US season, it'd be on headlines. It would be like, oh my god, Nina voted out her mom, big move. And now it's just normal.
Same question to Michelle and Mel. Would you guys have voted each other out if it would have advanced your game?
Michelle definitely would have for me, because the only thing she wants to do is to like beat me in this game. So she'd be like, yep, I'll vote my sister. Yep. And it will have to be on her terms. So, wouldn't it mean?
Did that happen? Did I beat you?
Yeah.
You lined that up, Mel.
I know I did.
So who made the most moves?
I'm pretty sure when we talked the last time, I'm like, what was your favorite part of the game or something? She's like, I did beat my sister. So
I came in with a purpose.
Mel had a good moment with the fire, and I saw Benny the other day, and he says he still has some good PTSD whenever someone wants him to light like a candle on a birthday cake. Because like, can I light the candles quick enough?
Mel, I'm happy Sam brought that up. It wasn't an amazing like fire making challenge between you and Ben. So like, how were you good at making fire like at camp? Were you prepared for that moment?
I never went near the fire at camp. I think our kitchen like went on fire when we were at Blue Camp, and I was asleep and I was right next to it. I had no idea. But yeah, I never touched a fire, but I did practice like every week with a really, really old flint. So yeah, that was fun. Unexpected.
I'm waiting for a fire making challenge. Like I keep thinking about this. I'm like, why does someone not like lean over to the other person's fire if they're winning and just like blow it out? Like just start blowing away at it. Like
oh, it was so windy as well.
Well, that was the challenge. No one ever thinks about the wind. And I'm like, someone's going to end up, there's been multiple fire making challenges where the fire's like not going on the rope and it's going back in like their faces and like to the side. I'm like, man, this is amazing Survivor content, but it's going to be amazing until that fire burns someone. That's what's going to end up happening here.
Yeah. Got really hot.
No matter what Survivor you're playing in Fiji, the wind was blowing every night. So, hey Josh, I just got to ask, every vote you made so Shay was on your vote block. What was
Shay or KJ?
KJ.
Pure oh my gosh, poor Shay.
What did I do? I was just checking my phone.
Now,
that was a stitch up, man. I got stitched up there. Like I did vote for her. I did vote for her a lot of the time, but like they didn't show my reason why. They just
I wish we know the Josh and KJ thing.
Yeah, we got memes.
That he
Abraham.
We did get a lot of memes. Most memes. Josh and KJ sort of. There's a lot of memes going around about the whole Josh and KJ thing. We actually get along, don't we, Josh? But during the show, people thought it was a weird one. Oh, that's all good. The edit played a very strong role in that one.
The first
there
one
were a
was
lot
when,
of random KJs.
No, there wasn't because they didn't show like when Geordie and Jesse were coming for me and Jordan that the first time when they split on the alliance and Sammy found Jesse's idol, we knew that Jesse had an idol and that Sammy found it. And so me and Mark and Dave we were all talking and we had to confirm with Mark that like, hey, if Jesse plays his idol, will you actually play your idol for me? And so Mark said he would. And then of course I wanted to vote. I put Jesse's name down because I knew that they were coming for me, but I figured I'm like, all right, if I did the numbers and looked at it, I was like, man, I don't want to give anyone else control of like if there is the double idol play, the last vote. Sorry, KJ would have been KJ. And so that was why that vote just randomly, the whole episode was about Jesse and Geordie coming for me and Jordan and the idol play. And then all of a sudden I just got this KJ vote and looked like a clown. I had no explanation.
Sucked in.
Yeah.
Abraham, you brought up, you brought up Shay. I think you owe Shay an apology because all season long, get this, Shay, all season long on the podcast, everyone sees Shay as a challenge beast, and I don't understand why. And then I'm pretty sure Shay won the most individual immunity challenges out of anyone. So I think you owe Shay a little bit of an apology here.
Shay, you worked way harder than I did on my season. So look, I gotta applaud anybody for going out there playing the game of Survivor. Just it's different. I'm pretty sure for the most of us, except for Juicy Day without it for his daughter, which I thought was great. It's a great adventure, but you still are out there in the elements. Now, the one comparison that I made the whole podcast was that it seemed like y'all had way more food than we had in Fiji. Everything looked like this is fine dining. What's going on here?
I think so. I think the minimum calorie requirements under law are different for different countries. I think Australia's got a slightly high one. But there was no other food. There was no coconuts or any other random shit like that.
But yours is a lot shorter, right?
Yeah.
It is
I
shorter.
think with y'all's longer season, you just had to get more food because it would be dangerous to just have you guys survive on coconuts for a month.
Well, what'd you guys have at camp? Was it just rice and beans?
Rice,
Oh, yeah.
beans, bugs.
Rice and beans.
We had coconuts.
It was always rationed, and it would be over a certain time frame, and they would replenish. But it wasn't much.
Yeah,
Smoked
yeah. It's
fish is
still not easy. So the next
Couple of cups.
To this day, I don't like coconut anymore. There's different versions of coconut. There's popcorn coconut that you can cook. There's regular coconut.
Oh yeah.
There's coconut juice you can drink. There's salty water in the ocean. I mean, it was a little different to be out there. We did find one rock crab, and 6 of us got one leg. So that was the best rock crab I had in my life.
Yum.
KJ, it was cool to see you with the Austin t-shirt on. I said, well, no, she's really from Austin, Texas, which I'm right down the street from Austin, Texas here in San Antonio. And I was like, yeah. And then I hit you up on Instagram. You was like, no, I was a flight attendant. I went through here. I was like, is she a Spurs fan too? So we kind of adopted her on this side. So she's a part of the U.S. Survivor team. I took her from y'all.
Yeah, thanks. No, I was just representing the family with the last name on that one. So I just typed in Austin t-shirts on Google, and that's what came up. So I bought it. It was good though.
You became one of his favorites very quickly because he's like, hey, he's from Austin. Like before he knew, he's like, she's wearing an Austin t-shirt. Got to cheer for her. Got to rep her.
Abraham
to
win?
disappoint you from
The one for Josh
Randy
and Jordan.
Yes.
Yo.
Randy.
Yes.
Did Abraham win?
No,
Abraham did not.
They were effective on me first. Did I have fun? Yes. Were they effective in voting me out? Yes.
First to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a blast. But our tribes were small. It was 6 per tribe, and our very first vote was 3 tribes, 2 votes. So we got all voting people out.
They've made the US version even shorter. So now it's 26 days instead of 39.
COVID.
26.
So
It's
Abraham went out the week we would have gone into lockdown to start our filming. So we were just into week 1 of 41 in Australia when we had to go into lockdown. Yeah.
That's the thing. They said it was because of COVID, the 26-day season, but now they're keeping it because they like that it's more, they think people make more moves more quickly. That's why they do the smaller tribes too. They're like, if you have 6 people on a tribe, people on a tribe, you can't hide. Like there's absolutely no hiding. You have to be playing right off the bat.
I don't want to play that game.
I don't either at the moment.
Dude, I like under the radar gameplay. I don't get why everyone's so fixated on the big moves.
Go way to go, Will.
This is why I'm winning season 45.
Here's an idea. Let's make a big, massive move and go home. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, it's fun. No, I'm also not a big fan. I've applied 6 times, but yeah, I've applied 6 times so far. But if you guys are looking for another American to come out and try your version of the show, let me know because I like what you guys are doing out there a lot more.
I don't think we have any play.
That's
Randy,
fair.
we should lie and say we're brothers and go on the next water.
I will say to that, I really enjoyed your challenges.
What do you say, Abraham?
I really enjoyed the different challenges compared to our season. I really want to go out there and compete on those challenges. They looked a little brutal, a couple of them. It looked like it was kind of hot, but I said it compared to our challenges. I definitely want to go out there and run up against this Jordan or Mark. I was going to get you know, Croc. I was going to get him too. Just have fun. I mean, just to come out there and have some fun.
Of course, you're going to say that now that he's won the game. Like, yeah, I was going to get Mark. I knew all along. Well, it's funny you say that. Oh, go ahead,
Like
Mark.
we spent 2 weeks like beating the shit out of each other, and
Yeah.
every challenge we went in was like, oh, it's another bashing. Like it was 2 weeks worth of
It was
that.
too much.
That's
We loved
the
it.
very
we
next.
loved it. We loved it. We loved the bash challenge. So good.
That's
You
the
and-
very
you
next
and Joshy
question I
loved it.
had was about the
that
challenge.
was just simple.
No,
The
what was
battering ram challenge, Mark.
what was the worst challenge
Oh.
that you guys did? That's the next superlative I have. The
That-
worst.
Ramming
cargo
one.
net. No, the
Battering
cargo
ram.
net.
No, the 20 kilo
No.
sandbags going up that hill.
Sandbags.
Yep.
The sandbags.
Disgusting.
We love that one, didn't we, Jordan?
There weren't many that were nice.
We love
Any
that
of
one,
those-
didn't we, Jordan?
That was
Yeah,
good fun.
feet
That was
too
good
much.
fun. Yeah, that was good. I like that, Sammy. That was good.
I was expecting the sandbags to win.
sandbags.
I was expecting that, but Jordan, when we talked, he was like, "Oh, I didn't actually think the sandbags were that bad."
Jordan.
Oh,
we
Jesus.
do. So we for rugby preseason, that's like what we usually do. So I actually didn't find that bad, to be honest.
So I heard the sandbag, the cargo net,
passed
the
away
battering
The
ram.
cargo net was way worse.
The feet
That
torture.
swim,
Feet torture.
swim to the climb was horrible.
Swim in the climb.
Do you want to know something, Randy?
Yes.
I did 1.5 bags. That's it.
That's it. Please tell me you got like to the top after one.
What?
Please tell me you got.
Oh my god.
And I
It all
got away
comes out
with
now.
it.
How can you do half a bag?
I didn't get there.
Are you carrying
I
with
didn't
someone? Oh.
I didn't make it.
Back.
Oh my God.
That's
Even
so
I
good.
finished my second run with 2 broken ribs.
Yeah, my bad.
Jordan said,
My
Jordan's
bad.
saying he did
I know.
20.
Me?
Who
You said,
who
you
did
said
20?
Who did?
Jordan said
No,
20, but there were 70
I
bags
did 12.
total.
I did 12. I did 12, not 20 bags.
I unloaded
did
a whole
six- I did-
pallet of
I
those
did-
babies.
Are you
I
guys
did-
counting as you go? You're like, third bag.
Well, I did 6. I did 6 trips with 2 bags. I did 12.
I did
Oh
13,
my-
mate.
I did 1.5.
And I threw Kate over the top of the thing as well at one point.
I broke another one of her ribs.
Jordan,
Oh.
I spent 5 minutes picking up a bag, and then you say, "Oh, just chuck it on my back, Kate." And I'm like, I have just spent 5 minutes lifting this
Thanks,
bag,
Gotta
and
get
then
him
to
up there.
throw it
Gotta
on
get him up the
your
hill.
back.
Okay, help me
100%.
out with the weight of them. If you had to compare the weight to
20
something.
kilos.
20
40
kilos.
20 kilos.
Okay.
45 pounds for them. So, yeah.
Oh, oh wow.
Heavy.
Now I'm just picturing Chrissy walking about halfway up and being like, "No, I'm done. I'm done. You guys got it."
Oh.
I mean,
I
I
had
do the
time
same.
to look around. I was looking, admiring all the half-naked men, and then Jonathan goes, "Chrissy is struggling," and I'm like, "I've done 1 bag. Yeah, I'm struggling. Don't bring it to their attention."
Oh my gosh. Well, I
I
mean,
definitely lost that challenge for.
if you don't feel like you're at threat of going home, why carry 30 bags up the hill? Exactly. That's their own problem. So the
That's
next,
Jonathan's favorite line. Struggling.
the next
We're
one,
all struggling.
I'm interested to see who gets outed here. The person who slept the most at camp.
Alex.
Alex.
Okay. Alex had an excuse. Okay.
Yeah, what?
You woke up and it was merch.
I miss him.
I woke up
We
and it
saw him
was
today. Chrissy, we saw him today
Where?
at a baby shower of our
Oh.
friends who live near him.
How's he doing?
Oh.
Not his sister's baby shower.
He was asleep.
He literally slept all day.
That's one of the lingering aspects of the game. He's asleep, and we're still trying to figure out if Sam and Mark have 2 idols.
And KJ fake slept the most.
Oh, was that a strategy play?
Nah, she's having period pain.
I just laid there and listened in.
She'd just be like this.
She'd be
KJ
like a
heard.
ball and she'd just be like, "Oh, got really bad period pain." Oh,
KJ
none of us have got our
KJ heard
periods.
about me and Mark talking about his idol and from like 4 meters away. Like
He is. Yeah, KJ's
Yeah, but
KJ's superpower. She
I
can
was
hear
laying
everything.
there. I was laying there and I could hear Mark start talking about this idol that he's got. And I was like, don't react, don't move. And I just, all of a sudden, I was just listening to him and Josh talk for ages. And it was interesting. It was fun.
KJ,
Looking back now, I have a lot.
If we ever played the game together now, you'll never get any sleep because if I'm trying to talk or something, I'll be like, KJ, you actually asleep? I'll be like,
I know, I've given away my superpower. I think that was one of the only strengths I had was listening into people's conversations.
The next one I have, it's also about kind of camp life. Which camp was better between the two, blood or water?
Water.
Water. I liked water.
I like
water. Everything was water.
I like-
Was closer.
Wait, what was closer?
In blood, like you had to walk like 4Ks just to get to the water, like to the well. But the water was better there. But I think the blue camp, everything was just more compact. It was just easy to get everywhere. Like it was nice. Yeah,
That's why on every time they showed the blood tribe, that's why you guys were in the water every time because you had to walk so far to get to it, so that you just stayed there.
By the time we went back with the water, it was empty.
What did you say, Shay?
Not blood, at water, I reckon we had an easier way to look for idols because there wasn't so many trees in one compact spot. It was kind of like there's a clump of trees here, there's a clump of trees there. I don't know, it felt easier than at blood. It was just a lot of bush.
Okay. Well, that was because we just can't tell from TV. Abraham, didn't you have to walk pretty far for the water too your season?
Yeah, well, I will probably. It was long, but you were tired. That's really what it was. It wasn't that far, just that you were just tired. Getting up. I don't know how y'all season worked when it came from time, but when the sun came up is when we got up. When the sun went down, so we didn't really have any true clock, and then you did whatever event that you did for the day. But being on a beach and walking in sand and being out in the ocean, you're just tired.
Yeah.
Nina told me on your guys' season that I don't think they do this for the US version. Was there a long waiting time between leaving camp and tribal council? Like she said,
not
you guys
really.
got to sit there for a while.
Only about 7 hours.
Yeah, only about 10 hours.
Half a day.
That was torture.
And then sit through what, a 2-3 hour tribal?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the hardest part of the game. All the way.
That was the hardest part. Yeah, that was the worst part.
It's like solitary confinement. You can't talk. You're just sitting there waiting. So why couldn't you leave us at camp?
Waiting.
Were you guys
just send
going
us home now, man?
I know there's some promotional shots and stuff that they get, but of you guys walking to tribal and everything, but
nah, it takes 10 minutes.
Nothing else. You guys are just sitting there for that long?
No, you're laying there for about 5 hours and you're just cooked. Just cooked.
Well, no wonder some of you are cranky when they get back. No wonder when Josh got back and found out Jordan got voted out, he's irate, out of this world. That's one of my
is now.
I know there's some kids here, so I'll do it just like they did on TV, which is they get back and you just see blurred mouth, and I'm like, I don't think Josh is very, very happy.
Well, we didn't get to we had to leave tribal, and so 1 minute I just found out I was going to have him, and then one immunity, and then we go to tribal, and we're sitting pretty we thought Mark and Sam were the threats. All the thanks.
Sorry.
Take it with you, Chrissy.
Turn your mic off.
Can you go to the toilet? Chrissy, put your
Josh, just don't even worry about it.
I'll just go.
I muted her. Sorry, Josh. Back to that riveting story.
So what? Yeah, so we were sitting pretty. We thought Mark and Sammy were the two big threats. Me and Jordan were there, but we're they got a known idol. Like everyone knew by that stage, I think that Mark had one idol, and then there was all the talk about this second idol. And so we're just like, oh, sweet. If they're going to go for anyone, they're going to try and get rid of these idols. And then all of a sudden, KJ pulled out the advantage, and it was like your head is scrambling. You're like, is KJ trying to stay tight with us by sending me, Chrissy, and Mark home? And so we're like, we thanked KJ. We're like, oh, thanks, KJ. And then we walk off. I said goodbye to Geordie. Like, I'm like, see you, bro. Like, it's been good, man. Like, you're a legend. But I didn't say goodbye to Jordan. And then so we go back, and it was like halfway walking back through the ramp. Like, all these thoughts started in my head. I'm like, man, could I have given Jordan the necklace? Could I, I'm like, oh, we're in
You
trouble
said
here.
it way quicker than that. You said it the second we walked.
We
Jordan's necklace.
Once,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, once Josh left, because there was a feeling, once Josh left, I was like, oh, here we go. And then I started to think, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. I was the same as Josh. Once, like, we were sitting there, like, all of us were calm, like, I hadn't even thought about a pitch at that point, but it was like, I mean, a bit early, but I was like, we're calm. And then once they got sent home, I sort of looked at a bit of the body language to the left, and I knew I had Sammy, but then I looked across, I'm like, well, Sammy's got an idol, I think. So it makes sense that I might be in trouble here. So I started to go, oh shit, here we go.
Well, we kind of saw that kind of came across because you were just kind of sitting in the middle. And when Sam pulled out that, oh, I'll just play, or she's reaching back, I'm like, no, they're not going to fall for this.
They stitched us up pretty hard because Sammy knows too, and Juice, there was way more back and forth going on. Like, there was heaps. Like, we were going, like, I was trying to tell Juice to stay tight. I was going to Geordie. Like, Sammy was speaking. Like, there was way more happening than they showed. Like, there was heaps more going. There was a lot more going on than what they showed.
Remind me, but Sam, you did not have the idol.
No, we left them at camp.
The greatest actress.
This was about breaking up two super couples. So this was KJ was a pretty strategic. Well, it was a brilliant move because at some point there was two couples there that were absolutely powerhouse. And then it came down to, this is the only moment in the game where we can actually do something about it. Now, to risk that one advantage with Sam maybe playing the idol and then that turning into a shit show, you had to go with the sure vote. It's like a sniper shot. Go for the kill. And unfortunately, Jordan was the guy that was sitting there.
You got that from Mark, didn't you? That reference. Go for the kid. That sounded like something Mark would say on this season.
That was called capture. Yeah, got it straight up.
If I remember correctly, though, Shay came to all you guys, Juice, Chrissy, KJ maybe as well, trying to get the singles to take out one of these pairs. And I watched a breakdown of the season just to make sure I wasn't missing anything because it happened a while ago. But I saw in that breakdown, the guy who was doing it talked a lot about how Chrissy and Juicy Dave did not make a move on the couples and they were standing pat when Shay was like, hey, we need to make a move on them. So what was going through your guys' mind at the time? Because you still had Mark and Sam in the game, I think, maybe. And then Chrissy, you and Juice, you guys were kind of just standing pat with the alliance you had instead of going with the other singles.
Well, no. I was trying to get Josh to be convinced there was a double idol going on there, but the man was not true.
What idol?
Not true. That's right.
Deny. I was hoping.
And to this day, we don't know.
I was hoping they didn't. Imagine if they didn't play both, and to this day, like. Obviously, it would have shown on TV, but let's just theoretically speaking, imagine if they don't play both, and we still are asking that question to that day. I mean, that would have been some reveal here on the show, just to like pull out an idol and be like, yeah, still have it. Chrissy, for you, why didn't you make like a singles kind of push towards the end to get out the couples? Because you seemed pretty close to both Josh and Mark.
Yeah, because I felt like I was in their couple. Like, I trusted them more than the singles, so I just didn't want to risk anything.
I mean, No one can
Wasn't
really.
even-
No one
From
really
our
can really
perspective-
criticize your game.
Single. We never saw that.
Mm. And see, I was considering the Juicy pair up and thought, all right, well, if Jordan and Josh are going to ditch me and Sammy and Mark are going to ditch me, Juicy's the option. But he was flirting with KJ too much, so I couldn't believe him.
Juice's mojo started going hardcore when he was like getting towards the end. He could see the path. Like, he was pointing at people. He was like, "Oh,
He just walk around going, that's bullshit.
You guys kept making like Batman references all season. I feel like Juice was like the Harley Quinn. Like he started off so sweet and stuff, and then as the season went on, he just turned into this like, especially towards the end, he got his confidence was like up here, and he's like, "All right, I'm running the show now."
He was running.
He was Alfred Butler.
He was. He
Juice,
just had too many girlfriends.
what happened towards the end of the game? Because you were definitely playing all sides of the field. You were talking to Shay, you were talking to Mark, you were talking to Josh. I mean, it's part of the game, yes, but like that's kind of what got you in trouble there towards the end. Is you didn't have that one alliance member who really had your back.
No, I did. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah. And no, I did. I had Chrissy. She was locked in tight.
Okay. So it was you two, and then
almost. But
No, tell the truth. I was the old Haggerty wife, and he had the hot mistress.
Oh, a scandal.
Yeah. And that was there was good play going on there, but anyway, it didn't work out. So
we've talked about
good talk for a bit. There was some good talk for a bit there of a Juicy Dave, Chrissy, and KJ final three. We had a bit of a joke there. You'd have the wife and the mistress.
We were watching it too. We're
That
like,
would've been-
"Oh,
Yeah,
Dave's
that's
gonna
we
pee on the way."
saw it. That's
We were
where it's
watching
gonna
it.
go.
Dave was good. Dave was good.
Yeah, that's why we gun for it.
Davey was the best, and I feel like the more we've talked about it since it's finished, the Juice was just a bit of a bummer, because I reckon you would have just gone on to conquer the world, Juicy, but you just left it too late.
too late. Now there was one moment there. I reckon the fatal move was, and KJ, you said it to me, and this is the night I got voted out. You said we've got to change our vote, and Shay was talking, and I thought Shay was moving your decision. I thought, no, don't do that, just stick to the guns. And then at that point is when I went, you know what, I'm going to change my vote. And what I should have done at that point, because the gut was telling me, I should have gone to you, yes, you're right, change your vote. And Geordie would have gone home. And that would have been...
I thought you did, Juice. I thought you
I
caught
did.
on to
No,
that, and then
I did.
I did.
So yeah, and so we end up having to do the revote, right? But I
Yes,
didn't
that's
know
right.
until watching the show back that Chrissy also didn't listen and changed her vote to Geordie as well, which caused that first revote. So I came back from the spa and I'm like to Geordie, I'm like, you can't vote for Chrissy, right? And then so I went to Chrissy and said, you have to vote for Dave. And then she's like, what about Geordie? I said, no, I've made a promise to protect us. And then it was only when I watched the show back that I realized that it was Chrissy that threw that one that caused the revote for you. So I thought you clued on, but it was Chrissy all along.
Well,
Like, he obviously did as well.
KJ,
but, yeah.
who did you vote for, KJ?
I can't even remember.
I think you
the second one I voted.
No. Remember, we were both going to vote for Mark because we needed to flush the idol. Then that was a muse. That was a muse, and we said, and I went, I'm going to vote Geordie. I'm changing my vote. Geordie's got to go. What I needed to do is tell you, yes, you're right. Change your vote. Go Geordie. Geordie would have been out of the picture.
I said to you, I've got a feeling something's going on, and I think we both need to vote for Geordie because I don't think it's going to be Mark, like they alluded to. And then, you said, I'll change, but you stick with Mark. And we should have both gone Geordie, and then
that was the bummer.
If you both went Geordie, then you would have got us.
That's right. That was one. If there's one move in anyone's game, there's always one. You know, it's like except Mark. Mark doesn't have that feeling.
I was talking about this. I feel like to even get to the end, it's like not only do you need a bit of luck and a bit of skill, you're also relying on people to get little things wrong, like what you guys did. Literally, that's the difference between a pathway or not. It's as simple as a missed word in a conversation.
And that's what makes it so tough because you just go, holy smokes, how close was it to being? And look, it might have ended up the same, but it was would have been a different dynamic altogether. Because, anyway, but exciting.
Here we go. Here we go again.
I've been there many times.
Here we go again.
I've been there many times, man.
The what ifs are coming back now.
The what ifs. Oh my god. I caught up with Gerald. I caught up with Gerald from Brains versus Brawn, and that guy. We were at the S races, and he is, but it's the same for everybody in this game. There's everyone's got that. I've got to go back and have another crack, or if I'd only. It gets you.
The last, it's a positive way to end the superlative game, but the last one I have is someone you didn't get to play with that you would have wanted to.
Proc for me. Yeah.
Sandra for me.
That's fair. So you did play with her, but you didn't. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No. Oh yeah. No, I meant the Alliance. Yeah. No. I pressed hard. I thought it was a bit good.
I'm shocked no one said Brianna because
I reckon I would have liked Brianna. I would have liked it. Yeah, she just went out too hard. Like she's fun.
She didn't mean
that. Probably Alex for me.
Alex in it. That was unfortunate. Yeah, that was unfortunate what happened with his back because he just never really got to play the game.
They said as soon as he got back, he was saying, "I regret leaving," and I was like, "Dude," I was saying, like, "Dude, do not leave. You're gonna regret it."
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
they cut a lot of that. We were pushing hard. Yeah.
That was the night Sophie was meant to go home, and he whispered to me in the bus, "I'm going home tonight." And I just gave him daggers. I was like, "You are not going home. This is happening." Even sitting at tribal, we were just, don't ruin this for us. And then we were glaring at him like, "Please don't go. We'll sort this out. We'll help you. And he just kept saying, "Oh, I'm going." And I'm like, "Oh my God, we've got to help him through." But he was cooked.
So what happened if you were on the water tribe? What happened on the way to challenge? Was it just nothing in particular? His back just went out? Because that can happen. But
yeah, his back just went at camp. He like got up and then it was spasming then.
Because it was just so weird. We had like no background knowledge of it. It was just we saw you guys carrying him in to the first challenge. And I remember talking about Abraham and Will. I remember talking to Abraham and Will, and I was like, what did this poor guy do? Like, we didn't see anything. Does anyone?
Yeah, he did nothing, man. He went like he picked up a rock or something, and then all of a sudden his back was gone. We're going.
Yeah. I thought it was his knee. I thought it was
Tom. That was a boat that I cooked, man. Yeah. I was the only one that backed him on that tribe.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was too. Just didn't know what was happening.
Oh, so I'm like, man, do we keep him in the tribe? His back's buggered, or do we go with this Andy vote? And like, I had no idea what was going on with the Andy vote. It was like I'd heard about it, but it was like this. And then I'm like, man, his back's cooked. And then sure enough, look, I was right in the end. He left, didn't he? We could have used Andy in a couple of challenges. Needed him to carry some sandbags.
I tried getting my cough drop out. Sorry about that. I was like trying to get it out. It just dropped. Anyways, now that you've watched the season back, do you guys have any different opinions on a certain situation or a certain player or anything now that, because it's different when you watch the season back than when you're actually out there and you're playing it and all that. Is there any opinions that you guys have now that's different because you've watched it back now?
I don't really like Josh and Mark.
I think we know, like there's so many different sides to every story, and you don't know in the edit if they're showing like the real story that you're thinking or the false story that you've kind of shared with someone else. I don't think we'll ever truly know what really happened or what was in people's minds, because now we don't even know what was in our minds because it's all kind of a bloody blur now. There's so much that just
you can't remember it, and then you rewatch it, and then the edit goes, "No, I wasn't thinking that anyway." Like, you confuse yourself.
You know that some of the things that you watch back at yourself, you're like, that's not what I was, well, at least I thought I was thinking. So our experience is real, but what we're watching back is an edited show, which makes sense. It's
I reckon they could have gone. I reckon they could have gone so much deeper. Like they've sort of there's so many deeper stories that sort of go in and out of the story, and I thought that'd make it really interesting because you'd have a little segue and then back into it. Whereas it's sort of, and I mean that's what it's about, isn't it? TV, but
they missed the mark. They definitely missed. They missed.
I just thought there's so much every character here that no one sees.
Juice is watching it back and still thinking, oh, so they did have the idol.
Yeah.
I don't think I could.
He tried to.
That's my biggest. What's that, Ernie?
Oh, go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say that's my biggest complaint with Survivor is that it's so edited and there's so little you see. Because I'm a fan of the show Big Brother, which is kind of similar in format, but there's live feeds, so you can watch the entire game play out. And I know Australia has something similar, and so I think I got spoiled off of that because with Survivor, I'm like, dang, I want more gameplay.
Yeah, it would make it way better. Way better. You get to know all the characters properly. Like, we just got this like surface level, and they kept harping on same themes, like. And they just didn't show like the reason, the idol. I didn't believe Geordie because they didn't show it. He came back after Jesse got voted out. He was like crying. It was like the most raw emotional state that he was. And he goes, I can't believe he went home with the idol. And then we're like, yeah, well, shit. And then the next day, all of a sudden, Sam's got the idol. We're
Sam's got the idol.
They just backed me. Yeah, we're like, you're scrambling hard. And then he just kept going on and on. Yeah. And there was these little lies that he'd get caught in throughout the show. When we're just having chats, like there was one where me and Sam, I can't remember what he said, but me and Sam looked at each other, and we're like, "Did you hear that?" And so like he was doing all the stuff, but then in the edit, it's just like the most DMs that I got were about, "Oh, you're an idiot, mate! Like, why don't you believe him about the idol?" And like, "I'll never get on one of your planes," and like, you have such poor perception.
Like you won't know.
No one's dumb.
Get off.
Yeah.
I've pitched this idea to Paramount Plus and Channel 10 in the podcast, but none of them have reached out to me. And I'm like, just take all the lost footage or the footage that you don't use of like camp life and stuff and put it on a streaming service or something and just call it like Survivor Extra or something like that.
That would be amazing. That'd be savage. That'd be awesome. That'd be savage.
I think it's like a genius idea.
Yeah. Sure.
Start with jury. Start with tribal.
Just do like 2 hours of unused content and stuff.
Similar how there's like the in the US the Ponderosa videos where whenever someone goes to the jury, they're like, oh, I'm in Ponderosa now. This is so great. I love the game. Like have that, but just like an hour of just people cooking rice and just talking about life.
Well, they think the networks think we don't want to see that. Like no one wants to see just people sitting around at camp. I'm like, there are people who would love to see it. I'm not one of those.
It works for Big Brother. Like people watch the live feeds.
Yeah, just install cameras all around and keep it like.
I will share with you the funny story on the first night on the island for us. We got attacked by the killer bird. And somebody thought it was a big rat that got into our little tent area. Everybody jumped up and ran out to the darkness. So we would love to see that on regular TV, but editing.
Well, so now
we had attacked
bats needed to be in more.
The bats.
Ask Chrissy about the bats. Ask Chrissy about the bats. Ask her now.
I still can't talk about it without peeing myself.
I was messaging Shay about the spiders out there in Australia and if they're as bad as everyone says they are. And she said, okay, that depends. How bad do people say they are? And I'm like, okay, here in the States, they literally like every video of the biggest spiders like you've ever seen in the world. They post those on Facebook and stuff. And it's like out in Australia, And so I was like, are they actually
Even on
as
the
big as
edit,
people
on
are
the
saying?
edit, all the snakes, crocodiles jumping out. Like,
Crocodiles.
none of that was there. We didn't see any
That
of that.
crocodile.
Hey,
How did
Abe
we
says the
survive
same
that
thing all the time.
crocodile?
I thought it was just our season. I was like, where are these snakes at? I've never seen a snake out here.
There was plenty of snakes. Believe me, there was snakes. I was doing rescue and the snake came in. We had to vacate the area. There was snakes. And remember that snake skin, Geordie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the red tribe.
Yeah.
Monstrous. It was like
Yeah, that
8
big ass one.
long.
Yeah.
It was huge. It shed its skin over the hut that we never used.
Davey, still traumatized by that.
No, yeah, I don't get on with bats.
So now that we are all like warmed up and chatting and some of us are still awake.
Just keep peeing on you, Juice.
Oh.
That is the second peeing statement we've got from Kristen tonight. I need to spend like a week at a Survivor camp with Chrissy, and I need to see what all the talk's about.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Look at them all. None of them like me now.
So I want to challenge you guys. I warned you at the very beginning. I have this Survivor AU blood versus water trivia to see. There's just 5 questions to see how well you guys know your own season. Okay, so here it is. The first question is who said it? It's a who said it question. So the quote is, are you going to give him the idol or do I burn you now?
Jesse.
Jesse said to Sam.
I didn't even know that. I was like, oh, who said that?
Yeah, because you were like in the moment, you're like, yeah, I got you. I got you.
No, in my pants. Oh.
Jesse.
I still to this day can't believe he didn't say anything because you're like, no, I'll speak with him. I'm like, no, you won't.
I actually was going to speak to Geordie. Like when he said that to me, I'm like,
No, you won't.
well, I did. I know that's not true. I wasn't. You're not me, so.
Geordie thought he was doing a deal, but he quickly understood there was no deal.
Like we said, Geordie cooked himself anyway.
I could cook you right now. Then do it. Do it. Like don't let her get away with it. No, he lets you get away with it and everything. And then like Geordie was like every single tribal, like she took his idol and everyone's like, no, Jesse wouldn't do that. I'm like, oh, he did.
It's because what Josh said. Geordie came back and said that Jesse took it home with him. So that was the whole thing. Otherwise, we probably would have thought it was there. Like that's what ruined it.
Oh man, one of the most iconic moments. So the next quote I have for you guys, probably a little bit tougher. Play to win, guys. I hope you win tomorrow. Anybody?
That sounds like Sandra.
It was Sandra. It was Sandra. Oh,
Sandra.
Jordan, were you the first one to say that there?
Yeah.
I think.
Was it? It was either Kate or Jordan. No, that was her parting words. Yeah. So the question
that was epic. Yeah.
The question I want to get off that was the big talk about Sandra, the queen of US Survivor, going over to play the game. How fun was it to play with Sandra for all her experience in the game? Was that like a true experience for, a lot of you guys are fellow Survivor fans before even going on to the show. So was that a cool experience to be able to play with Sandra and experience? What was that?
Traumatizing.
Iconic.
She was coming after me, man.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, she came out of the plane and she kind of stood on the line, and then particularly for us at First Blood who got to play with her, she was pretty quiet as a player early on because she was really wanting to be under the radar, but she gave so much in terms of her past experiences, her stories. So it was like pretty awesome to hear all that stuff.
I'll say the helicopter was a bit much at the time watching it. I'm like, you think the freaking queen just flew in? Like,
I mean, she did.
Yeah, okay. Fair point. I still love.
It took like an hour to get there too. I reckon we're standing there for like a good.
I mean, it's not like she chartered the helicopter.
They flew her from the US in that. That's how long we're standing.
I don't think we have Chrissy at the moment, but was she the one who said? Someone said, "Is that Oprah?"
That was Chrissy.
Yeah, that was Chrissy.
That was Chrissy.
Who else would it be?
I mean, to be fair, you guys were standing quite far away. To be fair.
Oh,
wait.
I'm not gonna lie. I said something like that. I don't remember what I said, but yeah, pretty sure that was me.
Chrissy,
I
go
think
ahead,
it was
Jen.
my voice over Chrissy's face. That's what I
Really?
got from that scene. Yeah, because I remember being so mortified because I remember saying something really stupid like that. And then when I watched the edit,
Wait, what did I miss? I was here again.
Chrissy, did you say when you saw Sandra it was Oprah?
Yes.
That's what
Did
you
you?
missed.
So I think I said it too.
I was
you said
asking.
it?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is that? Is that Oprah or something? I don't know. Maybe I didn't say Oprah, but I was definitely like, oh shit, sorry, I just swore.
No, I
sorry.
definitely thought it was.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway, I said something real stupid, and then I'm glad that Chrissy got the edit for that one.
I just didn't know who said it because I don't remember exactly who they showed. I just heard in the background, "Is that Oprah?"
Yeah, that was Chrissy.
I asked Croc. I was like, "Oh shit, Oprah's here." Yeah.
Would you want to play Survivor with Oprah though?
Oh yeah.
It's
That was
getting
most
real
exciting.
now. Oprah just.
And then
The real
when they
questions.
said it, when it was Sandra, I was like, "Yay! Who dat?"
I remember that, Chrissy. I remember that because we were right next to you guys. So you were just like, who is that?
Sorry, she knows.
I do have a question.
I
Though.
think I was standing with Jessie and Kate and Andy. Kate, I was with you, I think, on the mat when she
You
came
were,
out.
yes. Yes.
And we both-
And I could,
Yeah, and
we
you,
could barely
me,
stand
Jessie,
up.
and Andy, we both just thought, oh my God, shit, this game's just gone to a new level.
I saw the red in the helicopter and I said to Andy, I said,
Yeah.
that's a red top. That's Sandra. Like,
Oh,
and
wow.
everyone's going, what? And I said, that's Sandra.
That's
red
Sandra.
top. Yeah.
Knew
red top.
instantly.
Wait, why
Well,
did you know that, Kate?
She wears red.
Thing.
Yeah. She wears red. Always wears red in Survivor. So walking down, Andy and I were walking down last and I was doing a head count and I'm like, we're missing 2. So I was really like thinking, hang on, there's two players missing, something's going on. And then, yeah, it was
really
just like.
Will, you said you had a question?
Oh yeah, for all the super fans and whatnot, if you can pick one US player besides Sandra to come into Australia and play with, who would it be? Because now I'm curious.
Fair play.
Fair play.
Fair play.
Wow.
I love Johnny Fairplay. So Pearl Islands is obviously my favorite season. So like just iconic. Like I still, you know, I grew up watching the Jerry Springer show. So to have, you know, the whole Jerry
at least
Springer
we know his
line.
grandma's watching Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I had the hot for poverty, so
That was-
yeah, poverty is Michael.
Hey, I respect the pick though, Kate. Don't think I don't, but
No,
I was
in saying that, when I'm watching at home and watching the whole Josh getting the ultrasound, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, is this a fair play moment? Like, is he like angling? Like,
oh no,
you know, because
no.
that's my generation of Survivor. Yeah,
There he is. Look at him.
I know, but that's the automatic reaction of like, you know, someone who's nearly 50.
If I could cry like that, for real, like put that on, that would be like, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be acting.
No.
I'm not taking offense. I'm just saying, like,
once
that would
he
be
started
unbelievable.
crying, I got the gist. But in that automatic second, I was like, is this a fair play moment? Like it just felt like
that would
because
be
well, that's what it was. Like the dead grandma was elite. Like it's definite, like villainous status for the rest of your life.
And
Like,
Kate, when given the chance, would you lie about your grandma or like lie about family the same way Fairplay did?
Oh, I would.
Definitely. I mean, you know, I wouldn't pull it off as much as well as Fairplay did. But it's something that has been done and is iconic, and I don't think I would actually get away with it. But
as long as they
Yeah.
told me it was all right, like I would talk to them before the game, and I would tell them, am I good to like use your guys' names to advance in the game? And if they said it wasn't okay, then I wouldn't. But as long as they're like, my mom's already told me if I go out there, if I want to use if I want to swear by my mom, she's already given me that blessing to do so. Say like I'm
same.
trying to get a truth
See,
across. So like
I'm in that situation where both my parents are dead, both my grandparents are all four, everyone, all four of my grandparents are dead. So I've got I've got no one too.
Oh,
Like,
so sorry.
yeah.
That's
all right.
So the next question we have is, who is the first person to find and grab an idol?
Oh, that was Chrissy.
Shay? Was it Shay? Or?
It was.
Oh,
it was
Chrissy got the
it was
first one.
Chrissy.
Chrissy got the idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yay.
I was waiting for Chrissy to say me, and it was either Chrissy or Shay, and then we had that mad dash to the front of the podium where Shay ran.
The funny
past
thing
the
was,
podium.
no one, like they both knew that idol could only be played at that tribal, yet they all knew that Andy was going home. So that they made this big show of like sprinting for this idol, and it like couldn't be played. And it was just
And everyone was still
Well,
saying,
like-
I know.
yeah.
The
no,
audience,
maybe
the
few.
audience didn't know. I think Will said it, but most of the audience didn't
I
know
clearly
that it
didn't
had
know
to be
it was
played.
Andy either.
That was only you that didn't know what was in the first step.
You
Remember
just recycled my joke. Yeah.
Well, I was so confused. I was like, why did Chrissy play it? Like Andy's going home. There's no reason to play it. So I thought it was just Chrissy not really knowing how idols work because she's
Yeah,
not
they
really a
didn't, they
big
didn't show
Survivor
that
fan.
either. Yeah. They didn't show
So-
that it was only
Anyone
like one
had to.
use.
But you
Yeah.
had to use it that night.
See, that was something they left out. So it just left us
Yeah.
like, why did
Mhm.
Chrissy play it?
At first, I
That
thought you just
got-
wanted to keep it out of play, and because you got it so publicly,
Yeah.
you're like, guys, it's gone. Like I don't have it anymore.
And why wouldn't you just use it? Like it had to be used. I didn't know exactly if anyone else was lying. So I was like, of course I'm going to use it. But then no one got to see that was in the clues, in the information. So it just looked like I was, had no idea. But then I got so many messages on that episode. Why'd you play it? What waste? And then they saw the information later. But that's just editing, whatever.
I imagine you guys got a lot of messages throughout the entire season. Hopefully all good.
All
but-
good. Filipinos.
Hopefully
Lots
all
of
good.
Filipinos for me.
Just a few more questions I have for you guys here to end this Survivor trivia. Who was the first person voted out due to an idol being played? I kind of answered this one earlier. It was Kay.
Me.
Like I said, I watched that back and I was like, man, Kate did dirty on like day, I don't know,
9.
5 or 6 or something like that. Was it
Yeah.
day
Day
9?
7. Day
Day
7.
7. Close.
Oh, because Juice was the one going home there.
Mhm.
And everyone voted it was you and Juice, and I remember Sam threw out a vote for Sandra,
Just
which
in case.
was a genius idea. Sam, your thinking in the game is on point. It was genius to throw that vote out there. And then the final one I have, who won the challenge where you had to stack blocks of varying length on top of one another to build a tower?
Josh, didn't he?
It was Josh.
Oh,
Was it?
yeah, that was
That was a good one.
Yeah. That's what I
Probably
tried
Had
to.
to swim under the net and run. Yeah. But
How-
Juice had the early lead. And
Oh,
Shay
that
was
was
close
cool.
as well, I think. Yeah.
I thought
But
Juice
once I
had
got
it
it going, it
because
was good.
of his
that second
construction
level.
background. I thought you were so far ahead of like everyone. And then, like you said, that second level came around and it was like,
oh, it's like I was rigged. I just could not get that working. I was doing my head in.
and then
You were
poor,
so close, Juice, on the car too. Like that was one that
Oh, the
man.
car one
you
was
were
close.
like that.
I
was
think
like-
it-
Traumatizing.
I think
feel
it
like
was,
tonight's chat, a lot of it's triggering Juicy again. We're talking about all Juicy's triggers.
I
that's
almost won a car. I almost won Survivor.
I'll throw it at someone else. I'm sorry to bring this up, but one of you didn't make it to the puzzle. Was it Sam? Did you make it?
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite tweet of the entire season. I think it went something like, in a faraway land, I can still see Sam in the distance throwing the monkey group. I'm like, not very good with coordination.
Hey, have you, since going home,
If it was a
have you worked
160
on
kilometer
the monkey
race to
hook?
the end, you would have got it.
Yeah, we've all got our areas. What'd you say, Randy?
Have you bought one and worked on the monkey, whatever it's
Nah,
called, the
like
monkey ring
just
for now?
own what you're good at and outsource what you're shit at.
Hey, I won't make you be the only one who's kind of getting the challenge shame here. Jordan, you got stuck on a challenge. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, the car challenge. I never get to the end.
What was the section you got like caught on? What was that?
The rope got jammed, like it was too tight. I didn't have enough give, so I just got stuck when I was in there. But I managed to go and eat, so I was all right. So it wasn't all bad.
Fair.
But that was an embarrassing one, though.
We're coming to the end here, and I know we've ran a little longer than the hour. First off, once again, I want to thank all you guys for taking time to, come on the show, whether it's tonight, whether it's the individual interviews that I did with you guys. You have opened this world of Survivor Australia for me, and I'm looking forward to it. Next season, I get to interview the eliminated castaways every single episode. We kind of started that towards the end there, where I got to interview Mark, Shay, and Chrissy and Josh. But you guys have opened this world. You guys have all been so kind, and every time we speak and stuff. So I really appreciate everything you've done coming on the show. There's a few people I haven't asked this question to, and it's a question we always ask. I'll start with Mel.
Yeah.
Would you go back on the show?
Yeah. But I promised Michelle Amazing Race. So.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys were trying to get on that. That would be incredible.
We're trying.
wait till we're off the live stream, and then let us know. I'll go to Kate next. Kate, would you go back on to the show?
No, not.
Oh, no. I was gonna say I've never received a no, and then I've received 3 in the past couple of months, but between Mark, Kate now, and Michelle. Michelle's like, nope, one-time thing, never doing that again.
But what if you were able to play with fair play? Would that be incentive enough?
No. I would love like South African or American, but not Australian.
Ooh.
Okay.
Sam,
Sam, I won't let Mark's already tried to answer for you, but I won't let him answer for you this time. Would you go back and play again? Your third time?
Yeah, I mean, it just all depends on the timing of life. Like if it feels the right thing. We want to have a second baby. Like, it's all that timing. If it feels like it's the right thing.
Wait for the redemption story from Sam, like 10 years down the line or something. It's like Sam's coming
Harry
back.
will be playing.
Yes, Sam and Harry together for Blood versus Water Part 2.
What a liability I would be for him.
Harry's voting you out. I know for a fact Mark's going to tell him. He's going to have that like father-son moment. He's going to grab his shoulders, look him in the eye, and be like, "Your mother out."
Actually, Joshy, the other day, like Mum, we were saying that Mark was out with someone, and he goes, "Is he out with Joshy?"
What a legend.
Yeah,
Mark,
they can hang out.
Oh, that would be awesome. Mark is going to tell him, if your mom beats you, you better stay out on the island until you.
Once again, Mark sabotaging my games.
Yeah, every time. That's why you need your own season to where you can go out there and be the true queen. KJ, what about you? Would you play it again?
I'm very similar to Sam. The timing would have to be right, and I think I'd wait till the kids are a bit older because it's pretty tough being away from them. But I would, give it another crack, as long as it's just single player, no siblings coming along.
Sophie, you can
Blood
stay back
versus
at
water
home.
was hard.
It was definitely.
It wasn't hard because like playing with Jordan for me was great, but it's the wrath of every other sibling that like because it burns, and that's why I sort of didn't finish before when I was talking about when I came back and Jordan was gone by surprise. It wasn't like looking back, I'm like, oh man, I should have settled down a bit, but like at the time, you're just like it was like a quick natural protective reaction because it's your family member, and then at the same time, like I remember when the Sam vote went down. Coming back and having to deal with Mark, like it makes the game that much trickier. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to just be able to blindside someone and just walk away and be like, yeah, that was good. Like, not blindside someone and then deal with a relative, like, because it just complicated it so much like that.
Yeah.
Well, you're also in charge of your game and if you want to be your relative's game as well. I mean, that kind of goes unnoticed too. You're watching out for your relative the entire time, unless you just, vote them out right out the get-go. You're making sure they're good and you got to talk to them. You might have your own alliance, but then your relative, we kind of saw that issue with Mark and Sam, where Sam was working with, close with Jesse and stuff. And Mark had his own priorities. So, I mean, it worked out for Mark in the end. But yeah, it's definitely Blood versus Water is one of probably the most challenging. And I'll leave the group with this question. If you could go back on again, and there was a theme to it, because if you guys haven't heard, I can't speak on, I know some rumored names to be going out, but I'm not going to spill those here. The rumored is that Australia is working on a
hero versus
where is he tonight?
heroes versus villains, and maybe a certain someone who was supposed to be on today and is not on, might be there, might not, but I won't say more than that. But if you guys had to go on and play with a certain theme, what theme would you guys want to play with? Like, what theme has always kind of interested you?
I'm unaware of the theme. It's going to be a great theme. It's but you got to put your take your hat off to anyone who's going back to back, because man, it's like a full year of your life.
Yes, Kate.
Yes, I think it is hero versus villain, possibly.
That's the reported, which will be very entertaining.
I've already got my t-shirt ready to wear for it.
I'm waiting for Mark to pull a complete 180 and go right back out there and play again as a villain.
Do it, Mark.
No, Marky.
I'm looking after Harry. I'm running into school.
Going back to back would be savage. That'd be hard.
Don't take out that strange guard.
So what you tell me?
6 months to do that.
Don't put my money on Mark to be right back out there in the wintertime. Well,
Big sports bet.
Once again, thank you guys all for joining us. Feel free to I'm going to end the live stream here in a couple of minutes, but feel free to stay after if you guys would like. I'll leave the room open and everything, but I know some of you are probably getting a little tired, but thank you again for joining. Thank you guys, the viewers who joined today and were active in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. It really read that. If I can talk, you can tell I'm still tired. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for even more Survivor content. Abraham and Will, you guys have been on this journey with me since the get-go. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we end the live stream here?
It's funny. Randy drafted me early when I did my first or second interview after being on the show, and said, "Hey, you want to come do this crazy podcast with me?" And I gotta applaud him for being where he's at now and going through the whole Australia season and looking at different contestants play. But I got to give him credit. The young man has put together a good podcast. And like you said, thanks everybody. It's different because as I meet survivors, you come like we're all in the Survivor family with the title. I met some of the players here recently. I went down to Dallas and met players from previous season. Johnny Fairplay, yeah, that was the most scandalous act ever in the game of Survivor. So, but we see everybody on TV, and it's kind of cool because you got Josh now. He has a new baby right there. You got KJ, which I thought was right out of Austin, Texas, but Austin's her last name. Chrissy, I was like,
just Tasmania.
Chrissy, in the States, we'll call you a Thundercat. But you get to meet the people behind the show because, we're all edited. We never get a chance to actually meet each other. So it's been great to meet other players from other seasons from another country. I've had a chance to go to Australia a couple of times, had a great time. Mark, I'm retired Air Force, so that military background. But thanks, everybody. Yeah, I got up at 4:30, so I could be a part of this.
Yay, thank you.
That's because of Randy.
Legend.
Go ahead, Will.
Legend, bro.
I just want to say I've been a fan of Survivor for a long time, and so being able to actually meet people from the show I love has just been so great. And the fact that I'm only here because I met Randy in a random Discord Survivor, I got so lucky. I'm so glad I was able to sit down and talk about the show. I have one final question for y'all. If y'all could play a US season of Survivor, would y'all go if the timing was right and this, that, the other thing?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be good to play. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
They have more puzzles on there, so I'd love it.
I mean, I'm just saying this. If they can ever get a season where it's like Survivor, South Africa's best, Australia's best, US best. I mean, that's what the fans want. Like we want to see like all of them.
Like an international.
That'd be amazing.
So amazing.
But have
So
Australia
if you put
hosted.
like definitely if you got like Chappies with Nicole Kappa coming across, then put a couple of Americans in there and a couple of Aussies, put Dave and Mark or whatever in there, it would be unbelievable.
It would just be like yeah. We need to talk about how Sam is the actual winner of Survivor Blood versus Water, and she just got and her husband just pulled the rug right out.
One win, both wins.
Yes, that's what we need. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Stay tuned for even more Survivor content as we start covering Survivor South Africa in 2 weeks' time. Look forward to that as well. And yeah, I get to do
4 episodes a week. 4 episodes.
Yeah. Someone asked me, are you doing a podcast for every episode? I said, absolutely not. I will do on Fridays. I will do one a week.